Hey guys, Angus here, got another Airsoft product review for you guys today. Today we're taking a look at the Snake Eye style Airsoft mesh face mask. Now if you're interested in purchasing this product, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftpark.com where you can pick it up for about $65. The similar ones in different styles can range right around that price area. Now this mask was pretty nice and a lot better than I was expecting, so let's go ahead and hop straight into this video. Alright, now taking a look at the mask head on, if you've seen the design before, you're obviously going to know what it's supposed to be. It's Snake Eye from G.I. Joe. I was never huge into the series or franchise or whatever it is. However, I thought this mask looked pretty darn cool, so I figured it'd be interesting to review. Now, as far as construction goes, it's made a lot better than I thought it would be. I have one of these similar to the fact that it's one of the ones from overseas like this one, and it's a lot cheaper. It's got a bunch of cracks in it now, not exactly the most durable thing in the world. However, this one feels a lot more solid. The whole majority of it is constructed out of plastic. I know it's made to kind of look like it's stitching seams there, but it's not cloth. It's just all hard painted plastic, and it feels a lot more solid. You can really wrap on this pretty hard, and I don't think it's going to be cracking from the average things, such as if you accidentally run into a tree or something. But at the same time, I wouldn't be throwing this out my second-story window to see, hey, how durable is this? There are a couple metal pieces on this, although the majority of the mask is obviously constructed of that hard plastic. All the screws holding the foam padding on in the back, which I'll show you in a second, are metal, so it's nice to know they didn't cheap it out in that aspect. Also, your mesh lens, that's constructed of metal, which is obviously a good thing because you don't want a plastic mesh lens where a BB's going to crack right through it. So looking at this, it looks pretty cool in my opinion. It might have a different idea, but let's flip it around and look at the comfortable back. Alright, so with the mask reversed, you get a look at actually what your face is going into, and it's pretty darn comfortable. The other mask I've had experience with, they were very thin, cheapy foam strips that easily fell out. And I don't think these are any more amazingly attached. They looking at them right now from the outside, that maybe if you really wanted to, you could easily peel and tug these off, but I wouldn't recommend it because then your face is obviously stuffed into a very hard plastic shell that's rather uncomfortable. With the foam inserts, though, this is one of the more comfortable masks I've ever worn because it really does press up against your face and give you a good field of view back a ways. It's not got you slammed right up against the plastic, but you're not a mile away either. You're in a comfortable position, and the soft cushioning really does help when you're wearing this thing. Obviously, it is adjustable via this pad in the back. It'd go ahead and tighten those straps. I've known in the past for them to be cheap. These appear to be of the same quality, so they might be snapping on you in a game at some point, but otherwise they look nice at the moment. The foam is really what does it for me. This is a very comfortable mask, despite the fact that it could come out relatively easily after extended use. Alright, now the main thing that really did it for me with this mask, besides the cool look, is actually the mesh eyepiece. Now, as opposed to on your standard masks like this where you get the two eye slits covered in mesh, you get that whole visor, which gives you a bigger field of view. And that to me was a big advantage because now instead of having to basically look straight forward with not too much eye room, I can get a better view of my sides as well. And that was really interesting to me. I thought that was cool how they designed it so you could look all around and have a wider field of view, if you will. Now, like I said, the mesh is metal, so it's not going to be cracking when any BB flies into it, but you have to take into account the risks of mesh, which is that if you had an opponent using a very cheap BB, it came in there and shattered, you might have the effect of pieces of a BB going back into your eye. Therefore, this mask is wide enough and comfortable enough that you can wear shooting glasses underneath, and I highly would recommend that just to avoid that very, very small but possible danger with the mesh eyepiece. And for those of you who are curious, here's what I look like wearing these Snake Eye style mesh masks. Pretty cool and intimidating, huh? Well anyway, once it's off you, it's a pretty darn solid mask. I'm mainly going off this review my experience with other ones. I had to factor that in because I know these Chinese style masks and they don't tend to hold up over time, but this one appears to be made better than the ones I've handled before. One obvious thing being that it actually has metal screws on it, whereas the other ones everything was just kind of strapped on in the back or glued loosely. This one's actually got screws holding the foam in place in the back. And I have to say, in all honesty, it really is comfortable. These keep you far enough away from the mesh that you're not right up against it, and if your tongue slapped out, you're licking the disgusting paint on it, so that's always a nice thing. And the main thing that really made this mask cool to me was that advanced field of view. No two little eye slits where I got to be struggling to look through, bending my head the whole time. I have a larger field of view out of this mesh lens, and I can go ahead and look to my sides, to see where my opponents are or my teammates are, depending on whatever case that is. The cool look to it really go nice with, say, an all-black loadout, maybe a CQB style loadout or something like that. Just my main recommendation, if you're going to use it in an airsoft game, you might want to have some form of added actual lens eye protection behind you in case you do get that awful scenario where a cheap BB shatters and heads in. So with that being said, guys, this has been Deathcore Airsoft's review of the Snake Eye style mesh face mask for your airsoft games. It's pretty cool, get a larger field of view, and hey, you might look intimidating on the field.